This one's from Alan, Agenda 3. Thank you so much for the follow, brother. And thank you for the subscription, Marigoth. Appreciate you. So, the question I have: Hereditarians and race scientists have no cachet in hard biological sciences. Why would we then insist group differences at the biological level play into performance of races in testing when race isn't a real biological category? You have anything to add on that?
Um, you said that race. Can you repeat the question one more time? I'm sorry.
No problem, no problem. It says hereditarians and race scientists have no cachet in hard biological sciences. Why would we then insist group differences at the biological level play into performance of races in testing when race isn't a real biological category?
I would like. I wish I could ask him like, what does he mean by race isn't a real biological category?
Well, let me
What
let me
does he
take my
mean?
hand at it at answering that. So, well, first of all, it's the plain language. It is exactly what it means. Exactly what the plain language says. Races has nothing to do with biology at all, except for the fact that um, a racial science was created to justify racism. Most people refer to it as eugenics. But beyond that, race was never a biological category. Okay, it was created. It was a political and legal classification that was created to cement the racial hierarchy that we discuss at the beginning of the conversation, with white people on top and black people on the bottom. That is its literal origin. It has nothing to do with biology. It wasn't like people discovered black people and were like, oh, we're discovering all this cool stuff about biology and the races. No, 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 no. It was like, oh, we're definitely greater humans than these people, and now we need to justify it. That's really exactly how all biology related race science came into being. So I think that's what he means.
Um, I don't know. I just think that there are differences between people, differences between groups, and those differences um, are not entirely environmental. Um, and that's just
Isn't that like a totally different point though? Like, yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone would. I think the scientific consensus is that you know most things are a combination, if not everything, is a combination of nature and nurture, right? So I don't think that's
nature than the
controversial.
biological.
Yeah, correct. Nature would fall under biological, right? And then nurture would fall under environmental. So, like, yeah, but that's not really what we're talking about, right? Like, we're talking about race not being a biological classification at all. It never was. And so, like, ultimately using that as if it is a biological classification that could have an impact on tests and be reflected in testing and intelligence. I think that's the question is like, given there's no scientific evidence that isn't that widely accepted scientific evidence of that, why is that the conversation? I think is like kind of the question.
Yeah, I'm still making up my mind about those type of topics because genetics and um that whole area to me is not one I'm well versed in. I know I have a whole bunch of friends that are geneticists and in evolutionary biology and all this other stuff, and um, I I understand the arguments that that he is, or I understand the question that he's making, but to for me to answer that question, I think would be out of turn because I I'm still making up my
Yeah, yeah,
mind
yeah,
on.
yeah. That's totally legit. Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, you don't have to have a final answer or anything. This isn't Who Wants to
I
Be a
feel
Millionaire, so we're gonna let you rock on that. Okay, that's
call a
perfectly
friend,
fine.
call a friend.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like, I mean, I'll say for my part that I also have many friends who are scientists, right? Microbiologists, evolutionary biologists, physicists, all kinds of different things, right? And I have kind of talked to them about some of these questions. I encourage you to do that with your friends too, because they do have the specialized knowledge to know the intersection of race and some of these categories, and it's quite interesting to find out what people learn in their specialized fields about this subject matter, and it is enlightening. So I do recommend it myself.